Ever wonder how our beloved PlayStation consoles have evolved over time? They've come a long way, and today, we're going to take a whirlwind tour through the years, seeing just how far we've come. Our journey starts in the mid-90s, with the release of the original PlayStation, affectionately known as the PS1. This little gray box, with its iconic controller and spinning discs, burst onto the scene and made a significant impact on the gaming industry. It was a game changer, both literally and figuratively. PlayStation brought 3D graphics into our living rooms, revolutionizing the way we played games. Next, we had the PlayStation 2. Released at the turn of the millennium, it was sleeker, faster, and more powerful than its predecessor. It wasn't just a gaming console anymore, it was an entertainment system. With record-breaking sales, the PS2 quickly became the console to beat. It was as if Sony had taken the gaming world, given it a good shake and said, "Here, hold my DualShock." Then came the PlayStation 3, introducing us to the world of Blu-ray. This was a big deal, folks. Suddenly, our games were not only visually stunning, but also had the capacity for more complex storytelling and gameplay. It was like stepping into the future. Fast forward a bit to the PlayStation 4. This was another huge leap in graphics and performance, with games that were almost cinematic in their quality. It was as if our consoles were saying, "You ain't seen nothing yet." And finally, we arrive at the PlayStation 5. With the introduction of virtual reality and 4K gaming, PlayStation continued to push the boundaries of what was possible in a gaming console. It was like stepping into a whole new world, a world where we could not just play games but live them. From PS1 to PS5, Sony has always pushed the boundaries of gaming, but let's dive deeper into each console, shall we? We begin with the original PlayStation, a console that revolutionized the gaming industry. Launched in the mid-90s, the PlayStation, or PS1 as it's fondly known, was a game changer, quite literally. It presented a whole new world of gaming with its 3D graphics, a feature that was mind-blowing at the time. Suddenly, games were not just flat 2D images, but immersive environments that players could interact with. The PS1 also introduced CD-ROMs to the gaming world, replacing the cartridges of yesteryears. This leap in technology allowed for larger, more complex games, opening up a whole new realm of possibilities for game developers. The success of the PS1 was phenomenal, selling over 100 million units worldwide. It wasn't just a gaming console, it was a cultural icon. It established Sony as a major player in the gaming industry, challenging the dominance of giants like Nintendo and Sega. The PS1 made gaming cool, and it was only the beginning. Next up, the PlayStation 2, a console that broke records and hearts alike. This gaming powerhouse didn't just play games, it played DVDs too, transforming it into a versatile entertainment hub. It was like having a party and everyone's invited, movies, music, and games all in one sleek black box. But that's not all. Remember the PlayStation 1 games you loved so much? Well, the PS2 decided to play nice and offer backward compatibility, making it a nostalgic machine for those pixelated gems. Speaking of games, the PS2 didn't skimp on choices. With a staggering library of over 3,800 titles, it was like a buffet of gaming goodness. From the mystical realms of Final Fantasy to the high-octane streets of Grand Theft Auto, there was something for everyone. And boy, did it sell. The PS2 danced its way into millions of living rooms around the world, breaking sales records that still stand today. The PS2 wasn't just a console, it was a cultural phenomenon. Moving on to the PlayStation 3, where gaming met cinema. This was a time when Sony took a leap of faith and introduced the world to Blu-ray discs. If you've ever wondered why your older games can't compare to the newer ones in terms of graphics, you have Blu-ray to thank for that. These shiny little discs could store 5 times as much data as their DVD counterparts. More data meant more space for developers to flex their creative muscles, giving us the beautifully detailed worlds we know and love today. But Sony didn't stop there. With the PlayStation 4, they went a step further. They not only improved on the graphics and performance, but they also introduced social sharing features. Suddenly, you could share your gaming victories and epic fails with friends without even leaving your couch. Your gaming experience became a shared adventure, with the world becoming your audience. Now let's talk about the PlayStation 5. Sony's latest offering has taken gaming to a whole new level. With its virtual reality capabilities, 4K gaming, and super-fast solid-state drive, it's like stepping into the future. The PS5 isn't just a console, it's a teleportation device. One minute you're in your living room, the next you're fighting off aliens on a distant planet or scoring the winning goal in a packed stadium. And let's not forget that SSD, with loading times faster than you can say PlayStation, you'll barely have time to grab a snack before your game is ready to play. It's like Sony's found a way to bend time and space. If they start offering time travel next, don't say we didn't warn you. From Blu-ray to VR, Sony never ceased to amaze us. They've pushed the boundaries of what's possible and in the process, transformed gaming from a pastime into an immersive experience. We can't wait to see where they take us next. Now let's lighten the mood with a little PlayStation humor. You know, PlayStation consoles have evolved so much over the years, they're almost like teenagers. Think about it. The PS1 was the eager young kid, just happy to be part of the game. The PS2 was the overachiever, setting records left and right. The PS3 was all grown up, all about that Blu-ray life. And the PS4? Well, that's the rebellious one, always insisting it's not a phase, it's who they are. And let's not forget about the PlayStation controllers. They started off simple and then suddenly they sprouted 2 more buttons. Then they decided they wanted touchpads and a light bar. If they keep this up, they'll end up with more accessories than a fashionista at a sample sale. Remember, no matter how advanced our consoles get, it's the fun that truly matters. Until next time, happy gaming.